Well, guys, tonight we are going to be talking about, if you got your Bibles, go ahead and flip to James chapter 3. James chapter 3. I hope you guys are enjoying James. It's one of the most practical books of the Bible. It's got so much good practical application in it. But we are going to be in James chapter 3, and Eli named it, he called it Watch Your Mouth, which it makes me think of, like, occasionally I'll catch a student cussing, because I am a high school teacher. I teach at a high school. I think it's already been said. It's Inca. Inca what, y'all? Correct. No, I'm just kidding. Hey, I'm proud to be a Jet these days, but I graduated Reynolds. But if I hear a kid cussing, I will often say, "Do you kiss your mother with that mouth?" Which is a saying you've probably never heard before. They haven't either. But if I hear them cussing, I'm like, "Hey, you kiss your mother with that mouth?" And what do you think they say? They say, "I don't kiss my mom." But that's the saying. So James chapter 3, I know I've heard it used before about no cussing. That's not really that's not the whole thing that it's about. But yeah, don't be cussing, guys. So the theme is, we have all said something that we regret. You know, I lay awake at night thinking of the things that I've said that I wish I could take back. But it's like an arrow. Once you fired that arrow, it's gone. And you've maybe hurt someone intentionally or unintentionally. Sometimes you say something because you want to be mean. I hope you're not doing that. But if you say something unintentionally, that still causes damage. So you need to be cautious about what you say, and also how you're branded as a Christian. So we played a game earlier that had to do with logos. I mean, y'all be wearing some Christian logos, whether you know it or not. We'll talk about that in a second. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to be reading in James chapter 3. Let's go ahead and let's get verse 1 up here on the screen. I want to read that. So James chapter 3, verse 1, it says, "Not many should become teachers, my brothers, knowing that we will receive a stricter judgment." All right, I want to stop for a second. I said earlier I'm a teacher, right? At Inca High School. So I'm a high school teacher. I'm very mean. My students say I'm very mean. But do you think that's the kind of teacher they're talking about here? No. Who might they be talking about? And guys, by the way, I don't just talk. I need you to answer me. So, like, who might they be talking about? Who are the teachers they're talking about? Preachers. Good. Who else? In influence where, though, specifically? How about right here? Right? In church is what I was thinking. But yeah, so a preacher, or yeah, influencing how you act, certainly. So is it just preachers then? No, it's not just preachers. It's anyone that's teaching the word. So your leaders that are here tonight, your small group leaders, that's what it counts. You know, that's what we're talking about here. And so there's more danger of leading people astray. I was talking to Chrislyn earlier. I told her I was nervous. Oh man, so steady. But I said I was nervous because I teach chemistry and physics, earth science if I'm being punished. But if I mess up how to convert chemicals, it'll be okay. It'll be okay. It's not a big deal. If I mess this up, it says here, there will be a stricter judgment. There will be a stricter punishment. So when you're up here teaching the word, you know, you gotta take it seriously. All right, let's keep moving. James, verse 3:2. Here we go. "For we all stumble." Okay, we all stumble in many ways. "If anyone does not stumble in what he says, he is a mature man who is able to control his whole body. Now, when we put bits into the mouths of horses to make them obey us, we also guide the whole animal. And consider ships. They're very large and driven by fierce winds. They are guided by a very small rudder wherever the will of the pilot directs. So too, through the tongue, though the tongue is a small part of the body, it boasts great things." So we got a couple of examples here, okay? We got a couple of examples here. And in verses 1 and 2, it's saying if a man is able to control his tongue, he can control what? What did we just say? The whole body, okay? And so you might be thinking, well, wait a minute, I don't have to control, I can walk around and my tongue is still moving. So that's not really what we're talking about here, right? So if you can control your tongue, you can control the whole body. Guys, is it easy to control the tongue? No. It is very easy to mess up. As a teacher, I stumble in my own words because I'll say something, I might need a drink of water, and I'll stumble in my words, and I tell you, as a high school teacher, if your high school teacher messes up, you're going to make fun of them instantly. So yeah, it happens. It definitely happens. Who was the only perfect man? Jesus, correct. Do you think he could control what he said? Absolutely. So if that's the example then, okay, that's not all they're saying here. When they say the word, when James says the word body, it has a dual meaning. So when James says the word body, it does mean physical, because we are talking about tongue, because it's a part of the body, but he also means like the body of believers. And if we had more time, we'd talk about that. But in verse 3, if I can get that up there, what was the first example we had? I see you guys jotting away. We had pieces of paper. They're around somewhere. What was the first example that James used? A what? Horse is what? Bit. What's the bit? Show me. It goes like that. Yeah. It goes like that. Is a bit a very big piece of metal? No. It's pretty small. How does that work, by the way? If you got a bit in the mouth of a horse, how does that work? Yeah, you turn their head. And if you turn their head, they're like, oh, okay, I guess we're going this way. And you turn their head, no, I guess we're going that way. So yeah, the bit, okay? It's in the name. And you think about how heavy a horse is, okay? Who in here can lift a horse? Doubt. No, you can't lift a horse. Maybe if you had an elaborate pulley system, but no, probably not. But a bit is a piece of metal that can fit in the palm of your hand, and it moves that entire horse. So it's a pretty big deal. What's a rudder? Steers the ship. Where is it on a ship? On the back, right? And so I remember Morgan and I, when we first started dating, she was in charge of the trolling motor. We went fishing one time, and she was in charge of the trolling motor. Those of you that fish, is the trolling motor very big? No, but it steers that whole boat. And so Morgan was in charge of driving us where we needed to be. And did we catch any fish? No, because we were in Lake Nantahala. Do not go fishing in Lake Nantahala. It's a waste of time. That's what I'm trying to say. But it's a pretty small piece of wood, okay, or metal, or trolling motor, but it steers an entire ship. So your tongue, okay, it is a small thing. It has major impact. So if you're a note taker, I think that was one of the notes that I had. But a tongue is a small thing, but can have major impacts, okay? So high schoolers, raise your hand if you're in high school. I'm so sorry. High schoolers, we got a few of you. Raise your hand if you're in middle school. Raise your hand if you've seen a fight before. That's what I thought. Guys, how do most fights start? How do most fights start? Because they called somebody a name. They said something on social media. What else? Just bumped into him? Yeah, I've seen that one. Just bumped, man, what are you doing? What are you doing? I mean, I've seen some rough fights. Guys, tell me this. What do you think is a worse fight? A fight between two dudes or a fight between two girls? Two girls is correct. Two girls is correct. If you see two girls going at it, they're like, oh, let me get out. You get out of the way, okay? You call an SRO, because girls, they do not stop. So we had a fight last year where there were pieces, I'm not exaggerating, there were pieces of hair on the ground after the fight. Like it's rough. But again, most fights start because of this. Most fights start because of this. Or honestly, I should say this. What? Like they'll see something and then they go deal with it. Okay, so someone says something on social media. Does what you put on social media still count as something that you say? Yeah. Did James have social media? No. But could he write letters? Yeah. So if he wrote a letter to a church and he's like, hey, y'all aren't tithing very good. Try harder. That might be taken the wrong way, but that's still something that you say. It has a major impact. Okay? Guys, what's the strongest muscle in the human body? Okay, so it's your bicep. Okay. Tongue, your brain. Okay. Depending on the person. The tongue, listen, is not the strongest. It is the masseter. So if you look at me, and don't clench your jaw too much or you'll hurt it. More on that in a second. But if you put your hands right here and you like bite down, that's your masseter that you're feeling. The masseter is the strongest muscle in the human body by mass. Now, could you lift a truck with that? No, probably not with your jaw, but it's the strongest. It is the strongest by mass, okay? But your tongue, interestingly, it's not the strongest, but it is a muscle that can keep going and never get tired. It's true. You can look it up. So your jaw, if you clench your jaw for like 30 seconds, it's going to start to hurt and you're going to have to relax. But your tongue keeps going and going and going. A couple of you right now, you're using your tongues even though you're listening. But your tongue is always waggling around. So the reason that's important is it is harder to keep your mouth shut than it is to stop your tongue from moving. I'm going to say that again. It is harder to keep your mouth shut because of how masseter muscles work than it is to keep your tongue moving. It's easy to keep that tongue moving, and it's going to get you into trouble. Okay, it's absolutely going to get you in trouble. Let's look at our next passage, shall we? And I guess I can slow down a bit. I'm probably talking really fast. See, in high school, I know when the bell rings, and so I'm like, well, as long as I get done before the bell rings, I'm good. There's no bell. but I also need to eat. So we're picking up in verse 5, and we're going to read through verse 9. I'm going to pick up in the second half of 5. So consider how large a forest a small fire ignites, and the tongue is a fire. The tongue, a world of unrighteousness, is placed among the parts, you went too fast. The parts of our, bodies. It pollutes the whole body, sets the course of life on fire, and is set on fire by hell. Good gracious. For every creature, animal or bird, reptile or fish, is tamed and has been tamed by man, but no man can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil, full of deadly poison. With it, we bless our Lord and Father, and with it, we curse men who are made in God's likeness. Good gracious. So we got some highlights here. We have example number 3. So if you're a note taker, we have example number 3. What was it? If you're paying attention. No, before the animals. It was before that. The fire. Guys, it doesn't take much to start a forest fire, especially not right now. If you don't know, we're in a burn ban, so you can't burn your trash right now. I'm so sorry. Big disappointment. I know. I love burning trash too, especially styrofoam. You burn styrofoam, you get that good black flame going. Anyway, don't do that, okay, because we're in a burn ban because it's really dry. But it only takes, one thing to set an entire forest ablaze. Now, you guys probably don't remember, but I remember back in 2016, 2017 perhaps, I remember we had forest fires in our area, and whenever you would go outside, you would smell smoke. It was like someone had a campfire in your front yard. So yeah, it doesn't take much. And I think they found out later some punk kids started it. Guys, don't start forest fires, okay? But what your tongue says can impact your entire body. James doesn't seem to like the tongue very much. We look at some of the things that he said. Restless evil, full of deadly poison, world of unrighteousness. It's some pretty harsh stuff.